Hello, my friends, and welcome to Josie's Art School. Well, I am so happy to be back with you, and today we are creating what I like to call a rumbling lion. Now, he's a little bit grumbly rumbly, but what I love about him more than anything is he's colorful. Because you see, in your imagination, whether you are 3 years old or 75 years old, you can create whatever you want. Yes? So, here's what I'd like for you to do. I'd like for you to gather your supplies. Now, what I have today is I do have some oil pastels, and I do have some watercolor paint. And I do have some crayons. Now, you can use whatever you have available. I promise you, this is your project. And if you were in my classroom where I could actually talk to you and pass you supplies, I would say do whatever it is that you want to do, because the joy of creativity is that you are creating what you want to create. Isn't that awesome? All right, so let's get started. Now, for me, I am going to use a Sharpie when I'm drawing, but I would say you probably want to start with a pencil, because I'd like you to use a sketching motion where you're using the side of the pencil as opposed to straight up and down, so that you're digging lines and what we call committing to the line, because that's something that you don't necessarily want to do until you're ready. Because sometimes when we look at a piece of paper like this, we get a bit nervous about what we put on the page. And so when you use the side of your pencil, the pencil lead is not as dark. And that way, if you'd like to erase, you can erase without any problem, right? All right, so what I like to do when I'm drawing something this big, now you're probably asking, how big is my piece of paper? My piece of paper is probably an 11 by 14, and the examples are in an 8.5 by 11 size paper. You can use any paper you have on hand. You could even use a paper bag if you wanted to. I actually love that, and I will show you some projects on that in future episodes, okay? So we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, what I like to do when I get started, so I can kind of sense where everything goes, is I take my pencil and I draw a dotted or a dashed line down the middle, and then I draw another dotted or dashed line across the middle. So vertical and horizontal. And I have my paper in what's called landscape mode, which means the long side of your paper is down. You can do it however you like. I want a very long body on my lion, so I'm using the paper this way. All right, so let's get started. Once I've put my, what we call a grid on my paper, I'm going to start drawing the lion. Now for me, now you could actually put it on either side. You see the lion's head could be on this side, or the lion's head could be on that side. I am going to put my lion's head over here. And this is how I am looking at my paper, and I really want a very big head. So when I make my circle, it's almost going to fill up both what we call quadrants on the paper, okay? So that's step one, drawing the face of the lion. All right, let me bring you in a little bit closer. All right, so step two, we're going to make what we call the snout. Snout is a very tricky thing, because depending on what your snout looks like, it starts to change what type of animal that you have. You'll notice this as we keep going on this. All right, so inside the snout area, I'm going to make this shape that kind of looks like a tortilla chip, a Dorito, maybe even a triangle, right? And then I'm going to add what we call, I guess you would call it a mouth. Would you call that a mouth? Okay. Kind of looks like it's smiling, doesn't it? All right, so once I have that down, now I'm going to make the area of his face where it makes it look more like a snout. And this is going to help me place where the eyes are going to go. All right. So we've created the oval for the face. We've created where the nose and the mouth are going to go. And then we're creating that snout. So let me just make that a little darker so you can see it. Okay. Now, from here, I'm going to add the eyes. I'm going to make them small, but you can make them however you'd like. These are what my eyes are going to look like. And then I'm going to add a little more detail in the snout area. He looks a little creepy without any pupils in his eyes. Maybe I should give him some pupils. There we go. So what I do is I make these circles, but then I keep a little bit of light in the middle of the eye. All right, so have you drawn the face and the snout and the eyes and the nose and the mouth? All right, let's continue on. Next, let's start to draw the ears right here. Now, my line is overlapping. And so if your line overlaps just like mine, what you'll do is you'll erase that line right there. Okay? You can put an inner ear. Now, does it look like a lion yet? A little bit. We should probably keep going now. All right, so we've done the basics of the face for right now, and now we're going to draw the torso, or the back side of the body. So you're making a very long line, and then you bring it down where that's going to be where his tushy is. And then we're going to come back over here, and we're going to draw the two front paws. So I'm making a letter L here, and then I'm going to go up. And, well, you can decide. Do you want it to look like he's walking or if he's standing still? I'm going to make it look like he's walking. All right. Now, we're going to make the two back legs. And then we're going to close the line right here. All right. This is the basis of our roaring lion. Now let's add some more detail to it. What do you say? Let's add a tail. So you can make it a really long, wispy tail. I'm making two parallel lines going back. And then I'm going to draw this bushy part of the tail and make some lines in there. What else should we add? Let's draw the paws with more detail. Maybe adding some nails. Now remember that dotted line that I did across and down? You actually can erase that now because we don't need it anymore. So now I'm looking at my lion. And what else should I add? Yeah, I should add a mane. Now, I've already drawn what I want to draw here for the lion. And what I'm going to use is color from my watercolor paints, my oil pastels, my crayons, to add in all the detail. Now, if you want, you can continue to draw with your pencil or your marker or whatever you're drawing with. Like, for example, maybe you want to draw some trees. So you just draw the tree where it can either be behind his body, where you would draw the top of the tree and then jump his body and then finish at the bottom. Or you can put him hiding behind a tree. That's a thought. I am for now just going to have him standing in front of a tree. And here's my details on the tree. Now, I can also come back in here and add some more details on his mouth. Maybe I want to add a tongue. Maybe I want to add some whiskers. Now, I think maybe I want to also have it look like he is in some sort of tall grass. I like how it's coming along. Here's a trick I like to show my friends when they want to see how their drawing looks. Because do you know that your drawing actually doesn't look the same when it's sitting on a table? And so what you can do is you can pick up your piece of paper and put it in front of your eyes, just like this. And because this imitates how you would put it on a wall, it helps you to see exactly what it looks like. So mine is already on a wall and I'm looking at it and I really like it. So now I want to put some color. And what I want to start with is, of course, the big mane that you usually see on a lion, right? So I'm going to go around his face and I'm going to add that detail. Look at how suddenly my lion starts to come alive. Now, I don't have to be scared to use more than one color, and so I'm not gonna be. Here's some more. This time I'm using red. Now, these are my oil pastels. If you have never used oil pastels before, I would encourage you to try it. Now, when you see them, they kind of look like a crayon, right? So here's my crayon, here's my oil pastel, and here's my crayon. But what you'll notice is that when you use oil pastels, they're actually super bright. So let me show you. I'm going to do some crayon now. You see how it's not as bright as when I use an oil pastel? Yeah, I know. So give it a try. Okay, so I want to add more color to my lion, the body. And I'm using a lovely orchid color. Yeah, because I told you, you can put any color that you like on your lion. Now, in my examples here, we actually also put some designs on the lion. So if you want to, you can put some designs on your lion too, right? So you could put some circles. I would say also put some on his face too, because you want the pattern to be similar on the face as you have it on your body. Yep. All right, so now I'm going to add more of my orchid. I would love to know what colors you've decided to use. Do you like purple? Do you like red? Do you like orange? Now, this is where you can get even more fun because you don't have to just use crayons and you don't have to just use oil pastels. You can also use watercolor paint. And I do love a good watercolor paint. All right, let's start with that. I'm going to add some more details to my trees. Do you have markers? Markers would also be a great idea as well. Maybe you want to add a friend. Maybe a lion cub. That would be a fun idea. And just look at how that lion is coming alive with all the little details that I add. I really do love art. Have you ever seen a lion in person? Either at the zoo or maybe you've gone on a safari before. That would be super cool. I've actually been to zoos all over the world, and I actually have gone to the zoo in Portugal. Yeah, so pretty much anywhere you go, they have a zoo. And it's pretty amazing to see all the different animals that you can find based on the location that you go to. Okay, I'm going to make a red nose. I can't help it. Oh, that probably means I should make a red tongue too. All right. I think I want to add some more detail to the lion's mane also. You know, make it nice and big and fluffy. I could also put a circle around it to really make it pop. What do you think? Are you going to do that? You could if you want to. I'm really happy with how mine is coming together. All right. I think I want to do something different on the feet. But do you see how vibrant that mane is coming? Oh my goodness, I love it so much. I wish I could see what yours looks like. Yeah, so once again, I'm using that oil pastel. Well, if we were thinking about where this lion would live, there's lots of choices, you know. Lions can be found almost on every continent in the world. Of course, except for the cold ones, like Antarctica. That would be silly. Oh, I almost forgot to do the tail. All right. Well, now I'm going to add those big, tall grasses that he's hiding behind. Maybe he's hungry and he's going on a hunt. Where is your lion going? All right. I think I'm going to put the finishing touches of it in watercolor paint. Now, I don't want you to rush. I want you to take your time, do your best work. Really enjoy the process of creating your rumbling lion. Let's add a little bit of detail to the face. Now, remember to step back and look and think, what else can I add to my lion? Do you like how yours has come out? I love mine. Feel free to send it to my email address. I would love to see what you created. And I hope you enjoyed your time with me today. Look forward to seeing you again in the art room. Bye.